If you're planning for retirement, you may have heard this advice. Delay Social Security to get an 8% return. Now that sounds smart, right? But is it really? Because in reality, when you actually run the numbers, this advice doesn't always hold up. In fact, delaying Social Security could cost you more than you think, especially if you're pulling from your investment accounts in the meantime. So in this video, we're going to walk through why the 8% logic is misleading, the opportunity costs most people miss, a case study to illustrate, and how your portfolio's return can completely change the answer regarding the best age for you to claim Social Security. Let's start with the most common misunderstanding. A lot of people believe that if they delay Social Security, they're going to get an 8% return each year they wait. But that's not entirely true, and here's what's actually happening. If you claim before your full retirement age, say at 62, your benefit is permanently reduced by 30%, so that's a big cut. Once you reach full retirement age, which is 67 for anyone born in 1960 or later, your benefit stops being reduced, and any delay past that earns you extra credits. And yes, those credits increase your monthly benefit by 8% per year up to age 70. But that only applies for 3 years, from 67 to 70, not from 62 to 70 like some people assume. And even though that 8% sounds like a return, it's really just a larger benefit in exchange for collecting fewer checks. So let's say you're retired and waiting to take Social Security. How are you covering your expenses in the meantime? You're likely pulling from your investment accounts, your IRAs, 401ks, or your taxable brokerage account or accounts. But here's the problem. Every dollar you withdraw now is a dollar that no longer stays invested and grows for the future. That's called opportunity cost. So even if your monthly Social Security benefit ends up being higher later on, you may have permanently lost income potential by drawing down your investments too aggressively before you claim Social Security. Let's bring this to life with an example. Let's talk about Joel. He's 64, just retired, and has $850,000 in his retirement portfolio. He anticipates needing $5,200 a month to maintain his lifestyle, including housing, health insurance, travel, everything. He's trying to decide when to take Social Security. Here are his options. He could take it now at 64 and he'd receive about $2,000 per month. He could wait until his full retirement age at 67 and he'd get about $2,700 a month, or he could delay until 70 and he gets roughly $3,400 a month. Now, at first glance, waiting until 70 sounds like a no-brainer. That $3,400 monthly check looks so much better than the $2,000 he'd received if he started now. And yes, if he started even earlier at age 62, his benefit would be permanently reduced by about 30% compared to his full retirement age amount. And that feels like a big loss. But here's what most people miss. Even with the reduced Social Security income, taking it earlier might actually leave you in a better financial position overall, especially if it lets you avoid pulling as much from your investments. Because every dollar Joel doesn't need to withdraw from his portfolio is a dollar that stays invested and keeps growing. That growth can often more than make up for the reduced monthly check, particularly if his portfolio is earning a decent return. So yes, you're locking in a lower Social Security payment, but in doing so, you're protecting your portfolio, potentially reducing your tax burden, and giving your money more time to compound. Now, most people calculate the break-even point. They say if I live past a certain age, say 77 or 78, it pays to wait. And in a Social Security vacuum, that math checks out. But real life isn't lived in a vacuum. Let's assume Joel earns a 7% average return on his investments. If he delays Social Security, he has to draw $5,200 per month from his portfolio until his benefits kick in. If he starts at 64, he only needs to pull about $3,200 per month because the other $2,000 is coming from Social Security. That means he's withdrawing less and leaving more of his portfolio intact to keep growing. And that's the key insight. The timing of your benefits changes the pressure on your investments, which changes how long your money lasts. That's why Joel's total financial picture may actually look better by taking Social Security earlier, even if that monthly check is smaller. Now, if we just change one variable, which is the return on Joel's investments, at 9% average returns, taking Social Security early is the clear winner. At 7%, still slightly better to start earlier. And at 5%, now delaying Social Security begins to make more sense. Why? Because the higher your expected investment returns, the more valuable it is to keep those assets invested. If you're drawing less from your portfolio thanks to taking Social Security earlier, more of your money stays in the market, and that compounding may more than offset the reduced benefit. On the flip side, if returns are low, the guaranteed increase from delaying Social Security could be worth more. Now, I also want to make it clear that, like most everything in life, there are some other complexities to consider. This decision isn't just about comparing dollar amounts or portfolio balances and returns. There are other critical factors that can easily tip the scale. Let's walk through a few. First, there is tax strategy and income planning. Withdrawals from a 401k or IRA are 100% taxable, but Social Security is taxed differently. Only up to 85% of your benefit can be taxable depending on your income. It's based on something called provisional income, which is your AGI or adjusted gross income, 50% of your Social Security benefit, so half of what you would receive annually, and any tax-exempt interest, which for most is interest from municipal bonds or municipal bond mutual funds or ETFs. Here's a table showing by filing status and provisional income the percentage of Social Security income that is taxed. So for example, if Joel's provisional income is $50K, up to 85% of his Social Security income would be taxable. Then there's spousal and survivor benefits. Delaying your benefit could mean a higher survivor benefit for your spouse, or if your spouse qualifies for a spousal benefit, the timing of your claim may affect what they receive. And then there's healthcare and ACA premiums. For early retirees under age 65, your income drives ACA subsidy eligibility. Delaying Social Security and drawing from pre-tax accounts could push your income higher, raising your premiums. So if Joel delays Social Security and draws more from his IRA or 401k, his taxable income may increase, potentially reducing his ACA premium subsidies. And finally, there is longevity and personal health. If you expect a long retirement and strong health, delaying may pay off. But if you're concerned about health or simply want guaranteed income sooner, claiming early might give more peace of mind. So because these pieces interact in complex ways, it's a smart idea to talk with a certified financial advisor, ideally a fiduciary, to help you determine the best age for you to start collecting Social Security. What is a fiduciary financial advisor? They are legally required to act in your best interests. They're typically fee only, either a flat fee or percent of assets, and they receive no commissions or product sales. A fiduciary financial advisor can help you look at Social Security in the context of taxes, healthcare, investment returns, and spousal planning, all working together so you can make the best decision for you and pick the age for you that makes the absolute most sense. Thank you so much for watching, and if you found this video helpful, make sure to like and subscribe. And before you go, I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Are you leaning toward taking Social Security early, or are you planning to wait? And what's your biggest concern when it comes to deciding when to claim it? Although I may not be able to reply to every comment, I do read all of them. And remember, any comment you leave about your experiences might help someone else watching this video too. And when you're on the go, tune into the Early Retirement Roadmap, available wherever you get your podcasts, or go to mikeupland.com for all of my media, including my blog. Until next time, this is Mike Upland, early retiree last year at age 55, wishing for you to take care and make the most of your day.